Well, our next segment is definitely a love story, but not just between a husband and a wife. It also speaks to the devotion between those that serve and our military. Like many warriors that have witnessed war firsthand, Charles Migliorino was happy to let those memories fade into the past. But when his wife of 40+ years found some forgotten audio tapes, he knew he had a final mission to complete. Today, we revisit a Marine's love story.
I got this steak for our anniversary tonight.
It's dinner time for Alice and Charles Migliorino.
With a lot of butter.
Nothing fancy, even if tonight is their 43rd anniversary. Inseparable through the years, they met in college. Alice, a homecoming queen, and Charles, the big man on campus and on the court.
And I did real well at Murray. I was sixth highest scorer in the nation in junior college.
Oh, I thought, oh, what a nice looking young man.
A budding relationship, yet Charles knew there was something else he needed to do.
Here I am, 17 years old, almost 18 years old, and I'm just sitting in the dormitory.
So Charles joins the Marines, off to boot camp at Parris Island, with his love back in Oklahoma.
After he joined, he wrote me a letter and he asked me if I'd marry him. I said sure, and he went out and bought me a ring, and that was that.
Had it delivered.
Had it delivered. It came in the mail.
Little time for romance when you're heading off to Vietnam. Shipped to the front lines, Charles found himself along the infamous DMZ.
We were surrounded by North Vietnamese everywhere.
And it was here he became friends with the old man of the platoon, Mike Ferraro.
He was the kind of guy that was always joking around and always the lighter side of stuff. And he was kind of a clown, but then you could learn a lot from him.
Like how to deal with missing your girl back home.
You're just trying to keep your girlfriend. That's one thing. That's just the reality of it.
So Charles had another idea. Rather than write, he taped his love letters on an old reel-to-reel tape player.
Damn, I hope nobody else is listening, because I feel sort of embarrassed if they heard the lousy tape I'm making up. And if you let anybody hear it, I'll go nuts. Please don't tell me if you do let anybody hear it.
There was a lot of I love yous in there.
Well, I say it all the time. I love you a whole lot. I wish I was there.
And that kind of stuff. And every time I taped, there were a bunch of guys there. We were very respectful, cognizant, and knew that these are important things.
So when Mike walked in without knowing Charles was talking to Alice, you can hear the apologies.
And here comes Mike Farrar.
What's everybody coming here for?
Hey man, what's going on? Because I'm taping the
What
thing.
is it,
That's
a
why
lot
everybody's
in
coming
or
here.
Is that on now?
Yeah, it's on now. I want you to say a few words.
That's your girl?
Yeah, my girl.
I'm sorry there.
And while Mike liked to kid around, their job was often deadly serious.
On March 6th of 1968, my company took 38 killed in one ambush, and Mike was one of them.
Who's this good-looking girl?
That's Alice.
And Charles came home to Alice,
I took this purse out.
and memories of Vietnam began to fade, until Alice found an old purse, and inside, the reel-to-reel tapes Charles had made for her so long ago. And on these tapes, the voice of his friend Mike.
And that's the red dirt.
Of course, I was the only one who squared away.
Of course, Riley tried to use
Your boyfriend here's got to put his bolt back in his right. So I had to just fight him all by myself.
When I heard his voice and I heard what he was saying, I knew he had sisters. And, I knew he lived in Massapequa. And I said, and they haven't seen or heard of him, heard from him since 1968.
So Charles has one last mission, to bring his buddy home.
They just need to hear this.
Okay, we're ready for a couple of interviews. Well, one interview anyway. Here's Mike Farrar, and he's going to give us his opinion, on Vietnam. For what it's worth.
It ain't worth nothing. Well, let me tell them about the time I won the Medal of Honor.
Oh yeah, tell them about the time you won the Medal of Honor for our.
Charles found Mike's sister and sent her the recordings.
Hello?
Pat?
Yes.
This is Charles, Pat. Charlie?
Hi, Charles. Yeah.
Recordings made with love that gave a sister a final reunion with a beloved brother.
A gift I never expected to get, and yet to hear his voice after all these years, and also hear it over there in such a dark place, but how they could still joke, and my brother could still be joking, and talking with all that was going on. It just really I almost felt like, I'm getting a little emotional, that I was there, and just to hear his voice, but also knew he was with friends.
Pat, you know, Mike's sense of humor and all of that did something for me. Those are things that were wonderful things for me. And like I told you, my grandkids and my son and my daughter and everybody will know about, they know about Mike. And they've heard the tapes. And so, without sounding corny, he's going to live with them. And then the other thing is, he's part of my life. And I'm not going to forget him. I forgot a lot of things, and I tried to forget a lot of things. And, okay?
Yes. Oh, sorry if I'm a little emotional. See,
Well, I am.
Even after all these years, it still comes back. But it just, those things touch me, just what you're telling me, because I think that's so great. And not to sound corny, too, but I really love my brother, and it's just so nice that somebody else cared about him and just wants to keep his memory alive. And I think that's wonderful.
Myself now, the adult, I'm looking back at kids. That's what and you're listening to kids talk, teenagers talk about stuff, and trying to be as grown up as the situation warranted, but still kids. And that's what I hear when I listen to that, and I can't help, but think, it's a damn shame, that because they were all good people.